decided to make this video because there was something I was, just reflecting upon, and I realized that yes, it's something I actually can, share with you guys, perhaps, to motivate somebody out there. Because one of the value propositions of this channel is, giving you guys tips that will help you guys, succeed, and that will help you stay motivated. Because, truth be said, if you decide to be a reseller, there's going to come that point where you will be, so demotivated that you may want to give up. And if you take a look at the internet, there are not so many people, filling this gap for you, because reselling itself is one lonely thing that you can actually do. Yes, don't be deceived. Sometimes we come on here on YouTube, we talk about so many wins, what we have achieved, what we have done. Doesn't remove the fact that the business itself is sometimes a business that you have to pretty much be on your own, to do it. Because it's going to be difficult for you to really find somebody that's going to have the same drive like you. Yes, if you have that kind of person, you have hit a gold mine. There are going to be times where you are going to have the same, only the ideas that you only can have. You're going to have ideas to, to go out to thrift. People might see you as, time wasting. Like, why you not go get, why don't you go get a normal job? Why are you doing all this kind of, €3 here, €5 here kind of business? Why not just get a normal regular job, so that you go to work, say 6 o'clock, you come home whatever time, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you chill out on your couch. Perhaps you watch Netflix. You know, these are some of the ideas that might be conflicting with your own idea to want to succeed, your own idea to want to, do something for yourself. You're going to be bombarded with this for a long time. So, like I was saying, if you have somebody that has the same idea, which is, hey, come, let's go together, let's go and hustle, let's go and see how we can, make money on the street. Let's go and see how we can actually buy stuff from point A, bring it to point B and sell them. You have actually hit a gold mine. So if you have that kind of motivation for you, good for you. But there are a lot of people that have to, go through this journey alone. They have to actually toil through this whole process. If you are joining for the first time, I want to say a very big shout out to you guys. Welcome to the channel Hardware Flipper here. I flip you stuff on eBay, specifically electronics. Electronics is a very, very broad category. I flip desktop PCs, laptops, tablets. Matter of fact, I just sold one tablet now for about 400 or something euros. I'll be talking about that tomorrow. Hey, hi, I see you, Puyan. I see you. I'm streaming from my phone right now, so I can't really. I'm not on the laptop, but so good to have you around. And yes, it's a beautiful thing to have people waiting on the other side to hear what you want to say. So I'm not going to keep the stream so long, because it was something I felt like it's something I need to say. You see, eBay as a business model is one beautiful business model I came to know about, and ever since, I have not looked back. Oh, you are Iranian. Oh, that is so good. I'm from Nigeria, but I live in Germany and I do reselling in Germany here. Poyan, it's so good to know where you are, viewing from. And I also want to encourage you guys. I see there are 8 people on the stream. Mine's a little bit noisy. I'm just going to roll up the window. I hope I do not sweat a lot, but I have to say what I have to say. See, if you guys are on the stream, it will do me a lot of favor or a lot of support if we get to know where you are watching from. So if Poyan has said is watching from Iran, I guess because he said he's Iranian, and I am streaming from Germany right here. Smash the like button and do all these things that YouTube actually asked us to do. All right. So, like I said, I'm not going to make it a super long stream. I'm just going to give you guys something that I have found. When I got to know about reselling, ever since then, I haven't looked back, because this is one beautiful business model that up till this day, I have been doing this thing for the better part of, since 2013. I just don't know how, I can compare this to another business model. I've never looked back. I've always had to, to be grateful for the day I decided, to be a reseller, because this business model is so good. Today I was taking a look at all what's going on. Sometimes if you guys are pretty much, in tune with what's going on in the world, you can pretty much tell that look, so life is pretty much some days you are so chill, you have a lot of time to do what you want to do, and at another time you have a lot of crisis. Not really crisis, but just stress. It could be health related stress, it could be family related stress, it could be financial. So this is just how it is. Sometimes you are so happy, sometimes you are sad, sometimes you are so full of time to do all you want to do, but another time you are actually struggling for with every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes, every seconds that you have. And that brings me to what I kind of cherish about this reselling business. As a reseller, we go all out to look for items, to buy stuff that we can actually bring onto the platform to sell. And whenever we have time, we hit the road, try to source for new inventories, try to make sure that we're able to find decent items, laptops, monitors, desktop PCs, tablets, iPads, whatever you want to call it. We want to buy them and bring them to the platform, say eBay, to list them for profit. All right. This is when you have time. So you have time. You're able to invest this time in these activities, which is buying this stuff, cleaning them up, even when there are no buyers inside. But you are doing these things, you are fully committed because you understand that this is what reselling entails. And there's going to be that point where the item will sell. But then, even when the item have not sold, you are able to actually do these activities, buy some cool stuff, make photos of them, and list them. And there, eBay takes over. That they do their magic. I call it eBay doing their magic because they have a way of just making sure that people come to the platform. They have a lot of marketing systems in place. They do whatever they have to do, and people come to the platform, to buy your stuff. All right. So see where it becomes very, very interesting. See, today I have been going through, the day has been very stressful. Some family stuff. I'm not going to go into all that, but the thing is, today I didn't have time to go to the warehouse. As a matter of fact, even yesterday, I think I was in the warehouse for just a short time till there about 2 o'clock before I had to leave. And the whole of today, as you can tell, I'm in my warehouse now. I'm making this live stream from the car. The whole of today, I have been away from the warehouse. First of all, I would not naturally go to the warehouse today anyway because yes, I do go on a very, very, on an exceptional basis when I really have something to really quickly do because today is Sunday, and sometimes I want to spend Sunday at home. But then, just I'm trying to tell you guys that look, on a day where I'm so busy, like I have no time to even think of reselling right now. I have no time to go thrifting. I have no time to think of listing items, think of even answering customer buyers or potential would be buyers in the future, their emails or requests. This is a day I do not have time to do all those, but I still got items selling for me. These are items that I have listed on the platform. When I had time, I was able to list these items, and able to leave them there. And today, when I do not have time to even go take a look at the shop or even go thrifting, I am still making money. And that is what kind of makes me, very, very excited to being a reseller because there are some business models. If you are not there, you cannot make money. It's just not possible. I'm not talking about you if you have employees, but I typically am very skeptical about having people to work for me in my business because then you have to be wearing another kind of hat. You have to be a manager of people. And if you know how people are, it's very complicated to predict people, to manage people. And I just prefer, doing this business on a small scale. I do not want to scale too hard. Perhaps in the future that's going to change. I do not want to scale too hard to the point that I'll begin to need people and begin to bring some new kind of, stress to myself. All right. I'm talking to you that you are doing your business on the side. In the time where you have time, you are able to invest this time upfront. You're able to buy stuff. You're able to clean the stuff. You're able to even pre-pack some items, because if you sell things like laptops, monitors, you can actually go ahead and pre-pack them. If you sell shoes, you can easily pre-pack them so that whenever they sell, all you have to do is to put the shipping label and the item gets shipped out. But there are some business models where you cannot actually do anything upfront. You have to be on ground to do that transaction before you get paid. If you have a cleaning business, a lawn mowing business or something like that, and events of life show up that makes it impossible for you to be available, you now become so busy, you are not able to, go to your workplace, you are literally not going to make any money. You are not going to make any money because, first of all, the business model is such that you have to deliver the job before you get paid. And that is a problem in itself. In a 24-hour day or in a 12-hour day, you still can find like 1 hour in the day, except you have so big problem that you can no longer even go out or find time, 10 minutes for yourself. Even if all you had, or if all you have is just 20 minutes in a day or 30 minutes, you still can run to your garage depending when you are doing your business from. And this is the beauty of the reselling business. It's something you can do from your home, something you can do from your warehouse. If you have decided to go the route of having a warehouse. Of course, this is a video I actually need to make, trying to explain to you the benefits and the disadvantages of actually operating from a warehouse. Sometimes it looks very fanciful to have a warehouse, but then there is also an inherent, stress that comes with you operating from a warehouse. But then reselling, beautiful thing, you can operate it wherever you are. You can do it from your home. You can do it from your kitchen. You can do it from your bathroom. Wherever you lay your head, you can actually do it from there. And the beautiful thing, like I was saying, is that if you do not have time and all you have left is just say 30 minutes in a day, and you've listed items, and you are so busy with life that you have no time, all that is left for you is just a 20 minutes time in the day, you still can ship out items and you will be paid for doing that. Today I have been missing action. I've not been thinking about the warehouse, a lot of things coming up left and right, but items are still selling. And it's so beautiful to see notification on your phone telling you that, look, an item have sold. I was just taking a look, a decent tablet. I'm trying to go there. I'm saying, see, I was not in the shop, I was not in the warehouse, but it didn't stop eBay from doing the job, which is to make sure that my items that have been listed get discovered by people. And as soon as people find these items, they are going to go ahead and buy it. And when they buy it, I can then go ahead and ship out the items whenever I have time, because possibly tomorrow I'm going to be able to find time to go to the warehouse. Just take the tablet, take the power supply, pack them up, ship them off, and I make my money doing that. Am I going to make 1,000 euros doing this? Possibly no. I'm going to be able to make, let's say, 70 euros, 80 euros, 90 euros, but then that is not all that's going to sell. You can put that process on rinse and repeat, because if like I always say on this channel, if something has sold once, it can actually sell again. If you are able to make 70 euros, 60 euros, even 50 euros selling a tablet, you can put that process on rinse and repeat. However you got that product, you can actually go ahead and get it again, put it on rinse and repeat without necessarily having to do so much work. And this is also the beauty of the kind of items I sell. If you sell perishable items, tablets, this iPad Air that I've sold, I do not have to go about making the pictures again. I do not have to go about creating the listings again. It's already been done, and the moment I get another kind of this kind of iPad Air again, all I have to do, reactivate the listing and ship, make sure the item is active again on eBay. eBay does its job. The items get sold. I go ahead and ship it, rinse, repeat the process, and I just keep making whatever profit I'm making on the product on this particular tablet. I think I'm actually making 50 euros off this particular transaction. Was it the best transaction I could do? No, certainly not. But 50 euros per transaction for something that cost me little or no effort to ship out. All I had to do was just to buy it, bring it to my shop, list it, boom. And as soon as it's sold, I got 50 euros. And if I can rinse and repeat the process again, that 50 euros is going to keep, coming to me. As a matter of fact, that particular tablet, I have the possibility to get more quantities of that tablet. That is where it gets very, very interesting. See, this business model, like I just described, I haven't seen a business model that is so good like this, because I'm aware a lot of people are out there now. You might be having a second thought about reselling. You might be chasing a lot of, what you call it, what was it called? There's a term for it. You see a new idea, you want to go try it out. You see a new idea tomorrow, you feel like, okay, it's just escaping me now. This term is called, I forgot now. If somebody remembers this behavior of always chasing the next shiny light syndrome or something like this. You're always chasing the next shiny light, the next opportunity. You do reselling for about a month and you feel like because you are not selling, you're not making traffic, you're not getting traffic to your shop. You want to leave that and go try something else. You go try lawn mowing. And then you do lawn mowing for 3 months. You got only one or two clients. You feel like this is not a business that works. You want to go elsewhere. Look, if you are in the habit of chasing after shining lights, I want to tell you that reselling is something that you can actually pitch your tent with. I have found it. Great work. Oh, that's great. All sized. Great to have you around. Thank you so much for the comments. Great work ethics, brother. Yes, I'm just trying to do my best, bro. It's not easy, to be honest, and I also try to make this very, very clear in the videos I make. That look, this reselling thing, yes, it's a very beautiful business model that you can do. It's something you can stick with. You can make a lot of money doing it, but you have to have like all sides I've just said, very, very great work ethics. I'm gonna be making a video on this. You're going to have this spirit of determination. You have to be a self-starter, the person that can sit down and say, look, this is what I want to do today, and you have to be able to follow through to whatever you have committed to doing. All right, it is not something that you just wake up out of the blues and say, oh, I want to be a reseller and I want to make a lot of money. I want to sell a tablet. I want to sell a laptop. You can do it, but like a hobby, I always try to distinguish between you being a hobby reseller and you being a business. I am a business. The days where I used to do this as a hobby is since gone. And because of that, I just have to have this work ethics because if you work a 9 to 5 job, you can pretty much tell that if you go to work today and tomorrow you call in sick and you just keep repeating, every day you keep calling, I'm sick, I don't want to come to work, I have this pain. Sooner or later, you're going to be thrown out and the company is going to say, please, we do not want a worker like this. All right. The same thing happens if you are self employed and you feel like you want to succeed. You have to have very great work ethics. All sides, great to have you around. Please, could you tell me in the chat where you are watching from? And if you have any question, perhaps you are a reseller or you're thinking of going all in on reselling, please leave me a comment. I will do my best to answer it. So guys, I did promise that this stream wasn't going to be super long. So in 2 minutes, I'm going to be cutting off the stream, which makes it exactly 20 minutes. Texas, United States. Thank you so much. All sides. A lot of my audience are actually watching from the US, even though I'm in Germany, but the YouTube algorithm tells me that I have, a decent amount of US a US audience, and because of that, I still want to continue to push out content that's going to be very, very relevant because it doesn't matter where you go in the US, in Germany, in the UK, the category in which I sell on, which is desktop PCs, monitors, laptops, is a very relevant category. It doesn't matter even in Iran. I have a lady right now. She used to work in a company. She was from Iran. I know her casually, kind of an acquaintance of mine. She worked, she's Iranian also, just like Puyan. She said to me a long time ago that she worked in a company where they they built their gaming PCs. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. This is a relevant category. I don't know, wherever you are, there's definitely going to be somebody that needs a computer. And having to know that people watch me from all over the world, from Iran, from Texas, in the US, that is great. And I'm just going to do my best to continue to encourage you guys. If you guys have, the slightest, intention of having a reselling business, it doesn't matter. It may not actually have to be in in a desktop category, desktop PC category, or laptops. It could be clothing, it could be shoes. Generally, I've got a lot of experience in this area, and definitely I can give a tip or two. Will it be different in the US due to tariffs? Yeah, we do not ship right now to the US because, yeah, I understand that there's a legislative order, and things are pretty much strange right now. A long time ago, there used to be, we used to have the possibility to ship, lightweight items without being charged, what you call it, toll. What's toll in German? But just kind of a tariff, like custom charges, But right now, the DHL, pretty much the postal services in all of the European countries are actually saying that they are putting a hold on sending packages to the US. So it might not be a very good business venture if you want to try to ship pieces between US and Germany. I mean, I don't know if that's what you are actually asking to find out. Will it be different in the US too? In the US, the used market is also very big. There are going to be people that have PCs, and eBay.com, which is the country version that is in the US, there has also a very, very active, desktop PC computer, selling. There's also, man, I can't talk to the what's going on. There's also an active group of people selling desktop PCs, monitors, laptops. Sometimes I take a look at what's going on eBay.com, especially when I have Dell products, when I have HP products. I just want to take a look and see what people are selling and try to see how, the price is in dollars compared to what we say here in uh, in in uh, in euros. All right. Somebody asked, where do you live? Widad Ferdinand, great to have you around. I live in Germany, and I do my reselling business here from my warehouse in Germany. All right. And it's also be great to know where you are actually watching from, uh, Vidad Ferdinand. Just for you guys to know, we kind of pronounce W as Vidad. In Germany, W is actually pronounced as V. So I want to imagine that you be called Widad Ferdinand. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, or permit me if I have mispronounced your name. So, guys, like I said, now it's 22 minutes. I really have to cut this stream. I have to go. But then, since I discovered, greetings from Indonesia. Oh, great to have you around, man. It's amazing what this live stream can actually do. Indonesia, we have Iran, we have Texas, and definitely people are going to watch the replay. I want to encourage you guys to smash the like button if you are watching the replay later on. Reselling as a business model, ever since I discovered it, has been one beautiful thing I discovered. I have never looked back. And if you are thinking of a business model you can actually do with limited time that you have, I want to tell you guys, I want to encourage you, think about reselling. The beginning might be a little bit rugged, might be brutal because you have to go through the learning curve. It is what it is. But if you can endure the process and get to, figure out something that works, you are going to be thankful, be grateful for ever discovering, this route to making money. Of course, it doesn't make it easy, but like I said, like I am currently right now challenged with time, and even then, I still have, item selling for me, and not just item selling for peanuts, not just things. Because I understand the content game. If you want to be a YouTuber, yes, it also pays good money, even when you create the content one time. But the problem of that business model of content is that the money you tend to make is very, very little, and there's kind of a cap on what you can make as a content creator. But then, if you are a reseller, you could sell 3 items a day, you could sell 5 items. Your profit could be 150 euros, it could be 100 euros, it could be 120 euros. Unlike if you create content, because I have a monetized channel where I do, tech stuff, that channel pretty much makes the same amount of money every day. It's just, I don't know how YouTube kind of does it, but the amount of money I make from that channel from AdSense is pretty much fixed, and there's just nothing. I've been trying to increase it for so long. At the point I say, you know what, I'm just gonna give up. I'm just gonna keep making content, that I love to make. But with reselling, I can actually, there's no cap on the profit I can make. And whenever I do not have time, like today, yesterday, items sold. And tomorrow, if I do not go to the warehouse, items are still going to sell because I have actually done the upfront work and I physically don't have to be there to make sure that these items sell. All I need is just to hop in there, before the close of business, grab the items from the shelf, put them in the packaging box and ship them off, and that's all I have to do. So it's a decent business model. Think about it. If you right now at the crossroad thinking of what to do, like I said, it was a spontaneous live stream. Smash the like button. Until I see you again tomorrow from the warehouse, live and direct. Peace. So how do I end this stream?